Hi there, it's Kath Routledge, relaxation coach, coming in to do my second live free session. So hopefully a couple will come on to join. I feel a bit disorganised this morning because it's been a crazy morning. We had a bit of a sleep in this morning, not intentionally. Forgot to set the alarm, so it's been a bit of a crazy morning. So I'm looking forward to coming on to teach this, because it will help me find that peace and find that calm, which is always a good thing. So just a couple of things to say before. So the sessions are aimed at children and their parents, or their teachers if this is being streamed into a school, which would be amazing. So feel free to join in. But if you don't have children, you're still going to get the benefits of doing this. What I teach is for all ages. So in my usual work as a relaxed kids coach, I work with preschool up to college and beyond. I do kind of private adult relaxation classes, adult yoga classes as well. So it's for everybody, but I guess I wanted to bring something to the homes of people like me. So I'm kind of trying to work, trying to homeschool, and all of those things that go on around us. And I know that I would benefit from, and indeed benefit from, coming on and doing these sessions. So chair yoga again today. So we're going to go through some really gentle yoga. Because I can't see you, I can't be teaching stuff that might need help kind of understanding how we do it. So I basically do chair yoga because it's a lot easier to be able to teach that and teach it very safely, because I don't want anyone obviously hurting themselves. And obviously our grown-ups will be around to help children who might need a little bit of support. We'll do some mindful exercises, some breathing exercises, and a relaxation. And again, I'm reading relaxation, which is probably going to be back to front on your screen. I need to figure out how to turn the screen so you can see it as it is. So Lucy's little book of relaxations, and I'll be kind of bringing in over the weeks other stuff that I've done, because I've written a couple of books, so I'll be using the content from those books. This is going to go onto YouTube as well, so it'll be on my YouTube channel. So those who are watching on YouTube, the intention was to go live on Facebook, but I wanted to use this as an additional resource on YouTube. So I might start putting the time in that I start delivering the session, so you don't have to listen to all the preamble. So what is it? It's about 10:33 at the moment, so 3 minutes in. So a big welcome to everyone who's here. Hope you enjoy this, and I hope you can kind of carry this through into your day. If you pick it up a bit later, absolutely fine. It's a lovely thing to do at the end of the day. And I chose 10:30 because that's the time that I can show up each week, Tuesday and Thursday, at least until after half term. And if schools go back, when schools go back after half term, hopefully, I will change the time so it'll be a bit later. So as with anything, just listening to your body, doing what works for you. If anything doesn't feel right, then don't do it, adapt it, or just come back to sitting in mountain pose, sitting peacefully and focusing on your breathing. So we'll get started. So we'll just start with a mindful moment. So just taking a moment and just maybe closing your eyes or looking down to the floor and taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, just feeling yourselves becoming calm and peaceful inside. Just saying quietly to yourselves, I am calm, I am peaceful, I am calm, I am peaceful. Okay, so moving on to the yoga. So although I'm doing it sat in my chair, you can be sat on the floor, that's fine. But I guess from my point of view, I didn't want people to think they had to have yoga mats or anything to practice on. So, and also, if we're kind of on our computers a lot, because I know that my children are on the computer doing all of their home learning. So sometimes it's nice to have a few little ideas of things we could do while we're on our chair. So maybe in between each piece of work or in between each lesson, however it's working, we could maybe practice a few of these stretches. And there will be a lot of consistency in what I do, because basically I want you to be able to carry this forwards when the session stops. So if you're kind of working at a computer at any point, you can start doing a few little stretches and they'll give you the benefits. So we're going to start off by sitting up nice and tall. So this is chair mountain pose. So we want to imagine that there's a thread of string going through our spine, up our spine, and kind of coming out the top of our head to help us sit up nice and tall. Just relaxing those shoulders a little bit, hands softly on the lap, and just take a moment to focus on our breath. So just breathe in and breathe out. If it's comfortable breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, I encourage you to do this. If it isn't, just coming back to your usual breathing. We're just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Sitting up nice and tall and just feeling the spine lengthening. And then we're going to do some gentle neck rolls to start with. So we're just going to tuck our chin into our chest and look over towards one side of the room. So I'm looking towards my right shoulder, then back to centre, and then over to the left. So just warming up this part of our body, our neck and our shoulders, looking to the right, back to centre, and then to the left, and back to centre. So it's kind of chin to chest, look over and back, and over and back. And maybe thinking about our breathing as we're doing this. So we're going to breathe in as we look over, breathe out as we come back, or we might be able to breathe in as we go over to one side and breathe out as we go to the other side, doing what works for you. And like anything with practice, the breathing we can take deeper breaths in and slower breaths out and really start to slow the breathing down and slow the movement down. Now we are going to draw circles. So we're going to pretend that we've got a pencil on our nose, or our nose is a pencil. So we're just going to draw really big circles. So circles in the air, breathing in and breathing out as we're just drawing those gentle circles. Chin tucked into chest as we come to the beginning and then round. We don't want to stretch our neck too much, so we don't want our head to go back too far. So it's like we're just drawing that circle on the wall in front of us. So keeping it slow and then going the other way. Again, focusing on our breath, keeping it slow. We don't want to be doing anything too quickly. Yoga is a real lovely personal practice. The beauty of yoga, there's no competition. We all practice at our own pace. And sometimes, when we kind of go through the weeks, I might start doing some yoga with standing up. And sometimes we might find some sides we can do balancing really well, and on one week, and the other week it might be different. It's all about how we're feeling, and it's good to be in tune with how we are feeling. Really, really important. So we're going to have a little bit of fun now. I do this in all my classes, and I think it just gives us a bit of fun. So we're going to put our hands on our shoulders and we're just going to draw circles. So circles with our elbows, nice and slowly. Again, thinking about our breath, breathing in and breathing out. So maybe a half circle on the in-breath, a half circle on the out-breath, or maybe a full circle with the breath. So circles going forwards, and then circles going backwards. So just like we're swimming backwards, like a backward butterfly stroke, I guess. And let's make it a little bit more fun, coming back to centre. We're just going to do one at a time. So this is like front crawl. So just slowly, although I feel like I'm going a bit too fast here. So breathing in and breathing out as we're just warming up the shoulder area now. And then go backwards. And then back to centre, and then a bit of a challenge. So can you get one elbow going forwards and at the same time the other elbow going backwards? I feel like I've almost mastered this because I have been doing this in my classes for a long time now. But for some of us it might feel a bit tricky, a bit strange, because our brain's probably telling us we don't normally do this. We normally go the same direction. And then try the other way. So get the other elbow going forwards to start, and then backwards with the other one. So focusing on our breath and keeping it slow. So that's just a little bit of fun. Okay, so now hands back to our knees, sitting up nice and straight. We're going to do a yoga flow called cat-cow. We do cow first and then cat. But I think, it's called cat-cow. So we're going to sit with our hands on our legs, on the top of our legs, and all we're going to be doing is breathing in and looking up towards the top of the computer or whatever we're looking at. We don't want to be stretched. I mean, what I don't want anyone to be doing is kind of stretching right back. So we're going to kind of keep our chin tucked a little bit, and we're going to breathe in as our gaze goes up towards the top of the screen. And then as we breathe out, we're arching our back like an angry cat, and we're looking back towards our tummy button. So on the in-breath, we're coming up to look above the top of our screen, and on the out-breath, we're kind of, shoulders are coming up towards our ears, and it's like we're arching our back. If you wanted to try this on your hands and knees, you would start on your hands and your knees. You take a breath in and you'd look up in front of you, and as you breathe out, you'd look back to your tummy. But when we do it on our chair, we've got our hands on our knees and we're breathing in, so it's a really gentle movement when we're doing it on our chair. If we were doing it on our hands and knees, we'd probably notice the arch back a little bit more, and our back kind of, or our tummy dipping towards the floor as we're looking forwards. So that's one to maybe practice after the session. And then we're going to do chair cobra. And with this one, we want to shift our bottoms towards the edge of the chair, and our hands are going to go just behind our bottom. And we're going to lean back onto our hands and just look up towards the ceiling. So this is a tiny, 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 gentle back bend. So keeping it really gentle. We don't want to bend too much, just putting a weight of our body into our hands, and take a breath. And then the counter pose for cobra. So going the opposite way, we can put one arm on top of the other. If there's a table in front of us, just resting our arms on the table and our forehead on our arms, or we might just curl up onto our lap. So that's child pose, or a forward, or that could also be a forward fold. So that's just, we've worked our spine kind of forwards and backwards. We've done a little bit of moving around with our shoulders. So as I said, it's always going to be a really gentle practice because I can't physically see you. So we're going to go on to some mindful exercises. And again, I realise I've said that I'm going to do 15 or 20 minutes, but it seems like it might be a little bit longer, but hopefully that's okay. So on Tuesday, if you joined me, we used my singing bowl. So my singing bowl sounds like this. So lovely little chiming sound. So what I'd like you to do for this exercise is start off with your eyes closed, and I want you to listen to the sound of the chime. Really listen, really notice as it gets quieter and quieter and quieter, and then it eventually disappears. And I'd like you to open your eyes when the sound stops. So are you ready? So we're going to start with our eyes closed. We're going to listen and listen and listen. And then when the sound stops, we'll open our eyes. So let's give this a go. So some of us might hear that sound a bit longer than others. I probably hear it for quite a long time because I'm so close to it. But I think that's just a nice one, just to really focus on listening. When we're at home, we might have a moment where we can sit and listen to the sounds going on around us. If we don't have any music or any TV on, and just listen. You might hear rain if it's raining outside. You might hear kind of traffic in the distance, lots of different sounds you might hear. You might hear sounds in the home. I know that sometimes when I do this exercise, when I'm with a group of people, we can notice things like clocks ticking, which is really lovely because usually when we're talking and moving, we don't always notice those sounds. So that's a nice listening exercise. And now we're going to do some breathing exercises. So just two breathing exercises while we're sitting, and then a breathing exercise while we're lying. So the first breathing exercise, just a nice one using our imagination. So this is like a little visualization where we can build a picture in our minds. And this visualization just encourages us to think about our breathing. So all we're going to be doing is imagining we're smelling a flower and then blowing bubbles. So smelling that flower and blowing bubbles. So just imagining we're smelling a flower and blowing bubbles. And we can start to build a picture up in our minds, and this is where the visualization comes in. We might imagine a colour of a flower. It might be our favourite colour. We might imagine a bunch of flowers. We might think of flowers outside, a field of flowers. Lots of different ways that we can use our imagination to help this breathing exercise. And then when we're blowing bubbles, we might have a small pot of bubbles. We might have a really big pot of bubbles. And we can just imagine those bubbles, big or small, whatever it is that works for us. And it's sometimes nice to be able to use our imagination to create that picture while focusing on our breathing. Excuse me. So the next breathing exercise is triangle breathing. And triangle breathing is where we draw a triangle on our hand. Triangles have 3 sides. And as we do this breathing exercise, we are going to be holding our breath for 1 second, okay? Just a very, very short time. When we do any breathing exercises where we hold our breath, we're always holding for a very short time. If we're drawing a triangle on our hand as we do this, we're going to breathe in as we draw one side. We're going to hold our breath for 1 second as we draw a side. And then as we finish the triangle, we breathe out. So we're breathing in, we're holding our breath for a second, and we're breathing out. If it feels a bit tickly on the palm of your hand, on the back of your hand is equally fine. So we're breathing in, holding our breath for 1 second and breathing out. We're breathing in, holding for a second and breathing out. So again, that's just another technique that we can use. And sometimes it's good to be doing something while we're feeling an emotion. So if we're feeling a bit cross about something, if we think, right, I'm going to just start thinking about my breathing, but I need to draw a triangle on my hand, and that kind of distracts us from that moment. And like anything with practice, we start to get lots better at it and start to bring those techniques into our day as and when we need them. So we're going to move on to the relaxation now. We'll do a quick little breathing exercise. If you want to sit for the relaxation, absolutely fine. If you want to lie down, again, equally fine. It's whatever works for you. We're going to start with heart and tummy breathing though. So popping one hand on our heart, one hand on our tummy, and just focusing on our breath. So breathing in and breathing out. And maybe just noticing our hands. Are our hands moving? Is the hand on our heart moving? Is the hand on our tummy moving? What we tend to find, the hand on our heart will move with those small breaths, with those shallow breaths. And the hand on our tummy moves when we take big breaths. A lovely one to practice at bedtime if you find it hard to sleep, or even as part of your bedtime routine to help you go off to sleep. Just focusing on the breath, one hand on heart, one hand on tummy, and just noticing how that feels for you. So, I'm going to read the relaxation now. Spring is in the air, which hopefully it won't be too long because it's raining outside at the moment, and I can't wait for the nicer days to arrive when we start to see all the flowers coming out, all the colour in our gardens and in the fields. So just making yourself comfortable and closing your eyes, just taking a moment to notice your breath. So breathing in and breathing out slowly and steadily. Just letting yourself relax for the next few moments as I read the story. Nice, slow, steady breaths. And you feeling relaxed, feeling calm, feeling still. Just relax, relax, relax. And now take a moment to think about the different seasons, all magical in their own unique way, just like you. In the summer, long sunny days. In the autumn, all the colour as the leaves fall from the trees. Winter, maybe snow, maybe fires and hot chocolate. And then spring, a time for new beginnings, a time of hope, a time of optimism. Imagine that you are driving through the countryside on a beautiful spring day. All the colour is starting to show as the flowers begin to grow. Yellow daffodils, purple and orange crocuses, beautiful snowdrops, all standing proud, announcing to the world, spring is here. You can't help but feel happy looking at this beautiful landscape. There's a field to your left where sheep are kept. You take a look and notice a couple of baby lambs snuggling up to their mummy. Then another pair skip and jump across the grass. The lambs bound around. They seem to be having so much fun. Full of fun and joy and happiness. Next, you arrive at the Bluebell Woods, your favourite place to walk. It's just like an enchanted forest, full of wonder and delight. There's a deer over there, running off with a flash of its white tail. Are the rabbits burrowing in their undergrowth? A family of squirrels playing and hunting for food. Listen for a moment, and you'll hear the birds singing, the branches creaking, and the gurgling and splashing of the stream. It's an amazing place. A place to come to when you want to feel peaceful and happy. And you can come here in your imagination anytime you wish. Enjoy this happy, peaceful feeling and bring it back with you as you slowly begin to stir. And then just taking a moment to focus on your breath, noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. Before starting to gently move your fingers and toes, having a stretch, and then opening your eyes if they were closed. And that brings us to the end of the session. So I hope you've enjoyed it, for those of you who've been watching. I'd love to hear what you thought, and I'll be back again on Tuesday. Tuesday. I'm going to save this on my YouTube channel, but it will stay on my page. But it would be amazing if you enjoyed doing this, if you could share with your friends, because the intention is that I'm going to be live Tuesdays and Thursdays until Easter, just offering these sessions to kind of support our children in these times that are a challenge. And I think it's, it's amazing to come back to gentle yoga, to mindfulness, to breathing exercises and relaxation, because we're busy. I know from my point of view, my children are on computers all day, so it's nice. I know this is kind of be on a computer as well, but I guess we can do this without having to watch the screen. Kind of just listening in is okay. Anyway, so have a good rest of the day, a good rest of the week, and I'll be back again on Tuesday. Take care. Bye bye.